It's time for the 6 at 6 on KCMO Talk Radio. Number 1.
This broke in the overnight hours. Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, is dropping out of the race and will not seek a third consecutive term. This coming from WCCO Radio in Minneapolis, John.
Spared us from going to Taco Tuesday at his house. Remember his horrible tacos, him and Kamala.
Well, he's retiring by opening up a few daycares in his hometown there in Minneapolis. That's what he's doing. Oh, my gosh. He's expected to make an announcement today about his political future, and the reports are that he's likely made that decision to drop out. So we will see how this all plays out, but this is obviously big news for a guy who was riding high there in Minnesota, looking for that potential third term, former vice presidential candidate under Kamala Harris, and now he is expected to leave. Who would have thought that Kamala Harris would have picked a running mate worse than herself? Man, woo! That's hard to do. That is hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go. Tim Walz expected to drop out of his gubernatorial reelection today.
Number 2.
Next up, 2 people are dead after crashing into a tree late on Saturday night in Olathe, according to law enforcement. Olathe police said that about 10:40 p.m. on Saturday, officers were called to a crash near Northgate and East Herald after receiving a tip about an iPhone crash notification. Officers showed up. They reported finding a car that had crashed into a tree and was engulfed in flames. Olathe Fire Department called to the scene, and when the fire was extinguished, responding agencies saw 2 dead bodies inside the vehicle. Olathe PD says there do not appear to be any signs of criminal activity, and the identities of the 2 occupants have not yet been released as autopsies are underway.
Number 3.
Rolling through our 6 at 6, let's flip across the state line where flu cases have reached a 5-year high in Jackson County. More than 1,200 reported cases as, of course, students get set to return to the classroom after the holiday break this week. The surge is linked to a mutated strain of the flu called Subclad K, which spreads more easily than typical seasonal flu strains, according to the Jackson County Public Health Department. So the flu has been terrible this year all over the country. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I was talking to folks in Atlanta and then also in New York, and they were also saying how, yeah, everyone's down with the flu here. And I was not noticing that in Kansas City. Fast forward about 4 weeks, and I'm hearing a lot more of that over the last 10 to 14 days or so. And now Jackson County is saying they're at a 5-year high for flu cases here in the Kansas City area. So that's the latest on that front. We'll roll through the 6 at 6. Next up, here we go.
Number 4.
Well, the Chiefs star bond deal is set to more than double the amount of the 23 other star bond projects combined. Let me repeat that. This Chiefs deal to come to Kansas and the star bond offer on the table is more than double every single star bond project that has ever been done combined. So if you take the other 23 star bond deals done in the state of Kansas, you put them all into a bucket, this deal is 2x all of those together. Just to give you some perspective on what this is going to look like. And I was talking to somebody last night. There's really not a new development in this story, so there's not a lot to add to it today per se. But I was talking to somebody yesterday on the Kansas side of the state line. And they're very smart. They're very in tune with the inner workings of politics in Johnson County in particular and the state of Kansas at large. And they said to me, you know, this is still really just done at a 50,000-foot level. They're still trying to figure out the districts and what the lines look like and things like that. And I'm just like, I don't understand. I wasn't upset with this person. They were just the messenger. But I'm like, I don't understand how that's possible. It's like a brand new Ferrari showing up in your driveway and your wife or your spouse, your husband, you look at each other and you're like, now we got to figure out how to pay for this thing. That's not how the real world works. Or let's just put it this way. That's not how it's supposed to work. And if it does go down that way, everybody involved is an absolute fool and a sucker. And that's what this has felt like since it was first announced a couple of weeks ago.
Number 5.
Well, after their loss yesterday, the Chiefs have the number 9 pick in the NFL draft. They fall to the Raiders 14-12, and they will have a top 10 pick. It will be their highest draft pick since 2013 when they had the number 1 overall pick, and they took Eric Fisher, offensive tackle. Meantime, yesterday, you had Travis Kelce in that loss, reaching 13,000 career receiving yards against the Raiders. Makes him the fastest tight end to reach that milestone in NFL history, and tying him for the most consecutive seasons with at least 75 catches in league history. Only Tony Gonzalez and Jason Witten are the other tight ends to reach that milestone. They both played 17 seasons. So there you go.
Number 6.
And last up in the 6 at 6, a 3-year extension for Royals manager Matt Quatraro. How about that? Congratulations to him. Of course, the deal now runs through 2039, includes a club option for the 2030 season. He has guided the Royals to a 224-262 record, and he was the 2024 American League he finished second in the 2024 American League Manager of the Year voting. That is when the Royals got to the playoffs and lost to the Yankees. The question now, will Coach Q's contract be done before the Royals pick a new baseball stadium? That's what people really want to know.